guys, happy Wednesday, hump day, car share. I wanted to come on here to talk about hormone balancing and how important it is to get to know your body. I'm going to make it very short. I am going to do a bigger episode on my podcast. I think I'm going to have a few podcast episodes where I'm going to talk about these things on my own because I am curating a new set of guests coming later for the podcast. I ended with Sky Conway. If you haven't listened to that episode, it's amazing. You need to listen to it, please. It's wonderful. If you haven't listened to all the episodes of The Green Life, go back and catch up. They are fantastic. So while I curate a new set of guests coming in for maybe after the summer, I'm just gonna really focus on having a great list of people. Dr. Northrop will be back in the fall as well. I want to make sure that I keep on sharing good things, and there are some topics that I want to really delve into, and I think doing an episode about those is great, and it will be just with me. But in the meantime, here I want to just share my experience. So I was really just trying to put my teachings into practice and just showing myself and others how things work, but also saying, okay, so I've been eating in accordance to what my hormones need for a while, and my results have been amazing. But I'm like, what if I shift something? And this is just a 2 weeks trial, from my period actually. So the week before my cycle started, I don't fast. Well, I did fast. I always fast because naturally I do. But I didn't do long fasts, like 17, 18 hours, just maximum maybe 13. And in that period of time, I eat a little bit more starchy foods like tropical fruit, sweet potatoes, buckwheat, blah, blah, blah. And it's all whole foods, so my body really thrives on it and it's perfect. And from day 2 of my cycle, I then start fasting again and reduce the starchy food. But this time, I carried on with the starchy foods. And I wanted to see how my estrogen would react. And it is amazing if you're not feeding your hormones what they truly need. And it's not about calories, it's about what you truly need. If I kept my glucose a little higher, and estrogen does not like higher glucose, things have started shifting a little bit. I put a little bit of weight on my boobs, which is great. That is one part of the body that I'm just like, yes, please stay there, but it doesn't happen. Why? If you need to go anywhere, go here, right? And not everywhere else. But I also noticed that around my belly, I just felt a little bulge. Now, not extreme, it's only been 2 weeks, but I feel it. And I'm like, this is interesting. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that my estrogen doesn't like glucose, and glucose is going to increase insulin, and the way that estrogen reacts to it is just freaks out, and it just creates more fat. And so it's not extreme, it's not visceral fat, but you will retain more on your belly and hips because your body's like, I'm not in balance with what my hormones need. You have to think about your hormones as characters. They have characters and preferences. Estrogen doesn't like high glucose, progesterone does. And it's a dance of the two depending on where you are into your cycle. So understanding how to work with that is really, really, really effective. This is why intermittent fasting is actually such a great tool to reduce insulin and reduce belly fat. But what you eat when you're not fasting is also equally important, because you want to make sure you know what hormone is prevalent at that time and you feed that hormone. So this morning I went back to a lower starch diet. So I didn't actually have any fruit aside from berries in a salad because I really was craving greens. I woke up craving spinach and arugula. I'm like, okay, salad it is. And I did that with some tofu, and it will keep me fuller for longer to have some protein in there. Sometimes it just happens. And with the leafy greens and the berries, and then that's it. And avocado, the good fats. So I had that for breakfast with some balsamic vinegars. I didn't have any apple cider, and I feel really full, like really satiated, and it was good to start that way. And I think this week I might even be able to do longer fasts because I don't feel hungry. In fact, one of the things with the testing is like, let me just see if I feed my body even when I'm not hungry, what happens. And I think listening to your hunger cues what if I'm hungry every like 2 minutes? Well, then you're not feeding your body properly, because your body doesn't want to eat all the time, because the digestive system is clever. So if you're giving your microbiome the amount of fiber it needs to thrive, the body will not even be hungry, because now you are soothing your digestive system, making sure you're absorbing your nutrients. And we have to step away from this concept of lots of food but little nutrients, versus going towards what we actually should be doing, which is an amount of food that is good. Like, I eat a lot of food, but it's mostly plants, so it's bulk, but that has a lot of nutrients. So in comparison to like I eat only twice a day, in comparison to like the standard person that eats 4 or 5 times a day, it's a different approach. Now that works for me. So some people that can't have large meals like I can, maybe they need to just try and do a little bit more meals. But understanding how to do that, understanding how often to do that, understanding what kind of foods to eat is the key, is so important. So this is something that I really love teaching my clients. I really love it, because again, when I work with my clients, I always say to them, I want you to work with me for a set amount of time that you can learn everything you need. And then at some point, I want you to be the teacher to other people, to yourself. Like I want you to know that you don't have to come and see me all the time. And it's amazing. I say that from the beginning, but like people actually stay with me for years, because, and even if they don't do 2 sessions a month, but they only do 1, they want to, because they love the guidance, they love keep on learning, and they just appreciate what we're sharing. I also, of course, it's not just about the food. We go deep into healing, especially ancestral healing, and I cannot tell you how many times this came up with my clients, especially lately. And it's just, I peel the onion, You can't go on the first session and be like, okay, let's just fix your lineage now. You have to truly allow a bit of time, a bit of space for people to ground. And food is a grounding way, because the moment you take out the junk, you're really going to feel grounded. I'm going to do another video just after this one to talk about cleanses, because I think it's an important segue, but also really, really key, because I can see that because all my clients go on a cleanse. When they start with me, I do the cleaning the slate approach, so that we can really feed our body properly and create a shift. But there is such a misconception. Wait, sorry. Oh my God. Apologies. Saliva went the wrong way. Such a misconception of what cleanses are all about. This is when you see. This is where things don't get edited. I am what you see is what you get, guys. For real, like choking and all. So I am going to do another video right now about cleansing, because I want to just bust some myth, and then I will follow them up with some posts, because I think it's nice to have them available. All right, thank you for listening to me. Get to know your body, listen to your body, observe, keep a diary of your food intake and how you're reacting. That's most important, to the food that you take, because you learn so much about yourself and the hormones that are thriving. So also cycle sync. What if you're in menopause? That's a different subject, of course, because you're not producing hormones in a cyclic way in the terms of having a period, but you still have a cycle. And what if you if you had an hysterectomy, you don't have your ovaries? Well, your adrenal will take over, so we can talk about that at some point. But I also, in the inner circle, that's the subject we're going to talk about next week, and I'm so excited because it's really relevant right now. And we need to really understand that even if you are in menopause, you're still connected to the cycle of nature. And even if your ovaries are not the main participants in the cycle, your body still knows what to do. Your pituitary gland is all queued up to do what it needs to do through the adrenals, through your thyroid. Like, this is why it's so important to have good hormonal health, but overall, not just focusing on one part of the body at a time. So I'm very excited to talk about this. Bye.